So there's only so much that I can do sitting at my desk at home, whether it's distractions, just feeling stagnant, or, getting a little cramped from sitting at a computer chair for too long. So I try to go out every once in a while and find different places to write. And there's this one coffee shop I love going to. They have a great outdoor area, and that's where I'm going today. All right, so good afternoon, folks. It is Monday, around 3 o'clock. Temperature mid-40s. It's a little chilly. Not too big of a wind breeze, but enough that I should have brought a scarf. But I just wanted to write, and this is the spot I like to go to. So I'm doing good. Gonna try to get back into vlogging things again, talking about my process, talking about writing, reading, all of the above. Had a very busy winter, a very busy November, December, working on a Christmas pop-up bar, which was pretty fun, and it took up all of my time. And when I wasn't doing that, I was playing video games to turn off my brain. I still got some writing done, but definitely not as much as I should have. So we're spending the rest of January hyper-focusing on getting more words down on the page. 2025 was a pretty good year, though, I would say. Made a lot of progress on a lot of projects. Started new projects. Returned to old projects. My work schedule's kind of going... Oh. Alright, we're done now. Beautiful day, I will say. Was up early taking care of some business. And yeah, there's probably a lot of fucking background noise. Gonna see whether or not that you're not gonna be able to hear. Just wanted to check in. I'm gonna do some more writing today. I thought about my process. I'm working on a few projects. I have a fantasy novel and its duology partner that I'm working on, which main focus, pushing through to finish that. I think I mentioned that. And then I have a couple romances I'm working on. One is pretty much done, a version of it, and I just need to do a rewrite to add a second point of view. And I'm doing a second romance novel, which I started drafting that. Working on horror novel. Well, technically right for now. Working on a horror novel. And then, just kind of strands from all those branching out and looking into different things as well. About to head to a bookstore and see if I can find a copy of Queen Demon by Martha Wells, because I just finished Witch King. Loved it. I thought it was awesome, and I really need to continue the story. Other than that, I'm reading Braiding Sweetgrass about indigenous knowledge, ecology. Really cool. The last chapter made me tear up. It was the one from the daughter's point of view, talking about when she was a kid and they had this neighbor that was elderly and in just really unfortunate circumstances, but how she was so kind and they were kind to her. So we'll continue on with our journeys. Okay, I'm at the bookstore now. Is it just me, or does anybody else also go to check where their book might appear on the shelves? This is where my fantasy book might be. I think it's fun. Well, I'm back at home for the evening, and I picked up Queen Demon by Martha Wells. So I was very happy with Witch King. I have this thing where I generally don't like to get books in series in different formats. So if I get a paperback, I generally like to continue the trend with paperback books for the rest of the series. That is difficult with how the publishing industry works because they hate putting out hardback and paperback editions at the same time. I've mentioned it before, I am waiting on Wind and Truth to come out in paperback to pick that book up because I have the other 4 books as paperback editions. So sticking with that. It's also really weird that it's coming out in paperback more than a year after it first got published. I have to wait till frickin' May, I think, or March or May, but it's sometime this spring to get it. When it came out fall of 2024, I think, which is weird. And so I got Witch King in paperback and was going to potentially wait to get Queen Demon, but I really wanted to continue the series and I do not want to wait till September, I think is when the paperback comes out. So I'm making the sacrifice. I got Queen Demon. It's going to be my next fiction or fantasy fiction read. Still got the multiple books I'm working on, Braiding Sweetgrass, Demon Voices by Philip Pullman, all that. But there's another book I'm reading right now that is The Grace of Kings by Ken Liu. And it's taking me a moment to get into it. I don't necessarily think I'm not enjoying it, but it's one of those books that I think I'm struggling with a little bit more than I thought I would. And so I think I'm just taking a bit longer to get through it. Other than that, I think I'm really trying to get into the habit of reading new books. I have spent the last week really searching up new releases, debut releases that are coming out this year throughout 2026 and putting them into a separate wish list at the independent bookstore that I usually go to, because I'm going to try to keep up with them and read things as they come out. I don't know. I still want to spend some time on YouTube and kind of talk about my process and kind of what I'm doing in regards of reading and writing and what I'm consuming and how I'm thinking through different pieces of media. So I am not sure exactly what that's going to entail. I think, especially coming up, I might have some big changes happening in my life. And so whether or not I'm going to always try and create regular content, I don't know. I might just do updates here and there. I just want to have fun with it. I want to also provide something informative or useful. And so I don't want to just create content for the sake of content. I want to examine things from a realistic or intellectual space. And so, I don't know, that's part of what I'm popping on here to say in this video is just kind of a look at where I am now, a look at where I'm starting this new year. Again, happy 2026 to everybody. Hope everybody has a good year. I think it's the year of the fire horse, so things are in motion. I think if we take a look at the world around us today, we can kind of see there's a lot of things occurring and a lot of things in movement and a lot of momentum building up. I think on a personal level, I also feel that energy, partially I think because I'm a Sagittarius and my rising sign is a Sagittarius. By the way, lots of things make sense. But I think this year is going to be great. And I hope it's going to be great. And I'm going to do my part to make sure it's great for myself. And hopefully for the people I'm around, my friends, my family. I'll do what I can. I'm petting my cat right now. Quick appearance. Quick flyby of Marvin. Hold on, we gotta come back again. I think that's it for this clip for now. I just wanted to hop on here real quick because there was something I was thinking about that I wanted to talk about. It's about writing queries and how you go about editing them, refining them. Because I've realized I have a query that I've written up for the fantasy project that I'm working on that I've mentioned. I just noticed I keep going back and editing it and just tweaking small sentences, moving things around, just trying to, over time, update it with new things, new progress, new feelings and vibes, but also just every few weeks. Over the past couple months, I've probably checked it out at least once and shifted something around. So I think that's a unique part of the process that I haven't really thought about, but I think others might be doing as well. And if you're not doing it, consider doing it. I've had a lot of people say that you should be at least thinking of or writing your query throughout your process, not just at the end of your drafting right before you're about to send it out to agents, because that's going to give you time to change it and shift it and tweak it and refine it. And that's what I think I've been doing and what I'm happy about doing, because I feel every time I've made a change, it has made my query stronger. So I think by the time I end up getting to the point where I am about to query agents, it should be something I'm very confident in. So I just found that interesting. Okay, so a little sneak peek into something I've been working on recently. I have something I want to show / talk about, but I have to get this first composition book. This one online program called Milanote. I don't know if anybody else has heard of it or used it themselves, but it's a cool little kind of post-it note / little board utility. It has different functionalities, but it's been useful for me because I've used it as kind of like a post-it note tracker in a way, where I can create little diagrams or, put lots of just ideas or information kind of in one place. Probably good for mood boarding, but I started doing a new one for the family tree and different family trees in the community of the fantasy novel that I'm working on right now. Pretty much transferred most of what I had written down in my notebook before, which this was all of my writing notes from last year, throughout that last year, just about different things. This is kind of an example of, I just had like a quickly done family tree so I could keep track, because part of what I need to keep track of in the novel is everybody's ages and obviously who's related to who in the main cast. And so I've been using Milanote to transfer that to a digital format so I can pull it up anytime. That way I don't always have to have this on my person, because I've pretty much transferred all the handwriting drafting that I've done into my drafting document. Yeah, usually what I'll do is I'll do a check mark when I transferred a section. So that's kind of part of my writing process currently. So now I've also transferred the family tree, and I still need to kind of work out some side characters, just figure out whether any side characters are going to be related to anybody else. Yeah, I think I will flash a very quick image here just to show you what I've kind of thrown on the board so far. Yeah, the little blue card is my main character, and you can kind of see how she's related to a few other main characters. The other colored cards are important players. Not the only important players, but they're on like the governing council of this community that this story takes place in. Another peek into my writing process. On my kind of final like polishing draft that I'm gonna do next, not final, but you know what I mean, the next polishing draft is gonna be kind of making sure everything is one continuous story, because I have done a lot of hopping around with my drafting and taken a lot of breaks and worked for a long time on one section and very quickly on another section. Definitely going to need this as a reference document, so I'm glad I'm putting it in a mobile format, a digital format. And honestly, I think I'm gonna wrap up the stuff in this video here. I have some other things I'm gonna be working on tomorrow because I have a day off, and gonna keep doing some writing. I'm gonna keep doing what I need to do and keep drafting these different projects that I'm working on. And I have a really good feeling about this year. I'm pretty positive there will be some big leaps made and big achievements. As long as you keep chipping away at it and keep making progress, you know, you got to do that to feel a little bit good about yourself. In the end, I'm looking forward to 2026. I hope everybody has a good year. I look forward to continuing along on this journey, and thank you to those that are sticking around and checking out some of my videos and commenting. I appreciate it, and I look forward to continuing to grow and build a little niche on here. So, muchas gracias, and until next time.